What's going on, everyone? So today what we're going over is a Google Maps or a Google My Business rank checking software. So basically, what this is a lot of businesses know how to track their rankings in organic search, but there hasn't really been any real solid solutions out there for tracking your rankings in maps. So if you're looking at my screen right now, you can probably see that there's this nifty little geo grid that you can see at the bottom, showing different nodes with different numbers on them. And basically, that's the software that I'm going to run you through today. It's called Local Viking, and if you just want to get ahead of me and check it out yourself, there's a link in the description. If you click that, it'll take you straight to the page. And yeah, if you do buy through me, I do get a bit of a commission just to help me to keep making these videos. But um, I'm gonna try and go over everything in this video anyway, just so you guys know exactly what the software does and why it's awesome. I use it myself for all of my clients, and it's really made a difference in the way that we do reporting and just giving clients a real understanding of what we're doing and how what we're doing impacts them. All right, without any further ado, let's jump to it. All right, so basically what we have here is um, this is the GeoGrid section of Local Viking. So what you do is you basically come into here and you can enter in different searches based on the different businesses you have. So you can do a Google search, you can do a map URL search, a place ID search, or a My GMB search. So My GMB is when you have various GMBs tied into the software. So you can tie them in through the API key, and you'll basically have a list of those ones there. But the real cool thing about this is it allows you to track the rankings of businesses that have their address hidden in Google Maps. That's something that there hasn't really been a solution for prior to this. So if you have a business where you have your address hidden or your clients have the address hidden, before this there was no real way to report on your work when searching in maps in a visual way like we are able to do now. So let's give you an example. There's one I prepared earlier. So I have to. This isn't one of my clients, but I do have client data in there, so I had to hide some of that. But anyway, this is one that I just found prior to making this video. So the company's name is Car Locksmith Sydney. So if you search for Locksmith Sydney, you should be able to see them in there. That's them there. Okay, so the way we get their listing into Local Viking is we go to maps.google.com or google.com/maps. I'm gonna search for Car Locksmith Sydney. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to copy that URL. I'm going to bring them over to Local Viking. Okay. I'm going to go to New GeoGrid. And the way that you can set this up is we generally like to do, if you do kilometers, I'd like to do 1 kilometer grid searches and then just have it to 9 by 9. So what that does is when you put in, so we're going to put in this business's address here. I'm going to search for them. So because they have the address hidden, it sort of just picks the location that Google, like an arbitrary location around where Google has this listing set to. But the really cool thing is you can actually move the GeoGrid centers around. So if you want to drag it, if you want to have your GeoGrid center further away from where the actual Google listing is, you can do that as well. But yeah, so what we'll do is right now, we're going to do a search for 1 kilometer grid spacings at 9 by 9. And I'm just going to hit search. I'm just going to enter the term here. So it's Sydney. And then let's see what we come up with. So now basically this is going to come back and give us, it's going to go out and figure out exactly where the listing's ranked. So there's a few other things while we're waiting for that to happen. I want to show you some of the other stuff you can do. there's a way that you can schedule GeoGrid searches. So basically, if you have to report to a client every month, you can schedule your reports to happen every month. I'm not going to go into that and show that right now because I have a bit of sensitive client data in there. But if I show you, while we're here, we just have this one up already. So this is the GeoGrids that have come back for that location, and you can see these guys are obviously doing a great job for their clients. What you do now is each of these nodes actually gives you really cool information. So if you click on that, what we're assuming is that from this location, if you search for the term Locksmith Sydney, these guys are coming up number 2. So now if you go into here, you can see all the competitors as well and where they're all ranking. So now that information is actually really handy because you basically know where you're sitting comparatively to all your competitors. And this is also the GeoGrid, the geolocation of that node that you're looking at. So if you want to help pick yourself up in that particular location, this is the geodata that you can use to increase your visibility in that one location. When you sign up to Local Viking, they actually have heaps of training on how to do a lot of the stuff as well. So if you're looking to expand your range in Google Maps, this tool will give you the information that you need to have to know where you need to improve, and then Local Viking has training showing you how to use that information and actually increase that prevalence. All right, so now if we go into each one of these nodes, we'll be able to get that information. And then if you go into history, you'll be able to see your past rankings as well. Now, one of the really cool things is, and I'm not able to, like I said, I'm not able to share my one, but what I want to show you is this training video from Local Viking. So this is them showing us exactly how they set up the GeoGrid searches. I'm just going to mute it. I'm just going to explain what they're doing. So they've gone and set up the GeoGrid search, and basically over time, there's a little timeline there. If you click in through it, it'll show you at any given point in time where this company was ranking, and at that point in time, if you click into the node, it'll show you where all the competitors were ranking at that time as well. So this gives you a really good idea of how you've progressed comparatively to your competitors. If there's any new competitors that have come in, and if any of your old competitors have lost rankings or gained rankings. And yeah, so basically you'll get all that information. And once you have enough data in here, you're able to actually export that information into a GIF or a GIF. I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly, but anyway. And it basically comes out in this sort of format. So if you want to get a real good visualization of how all your work has impacted on what you're doing and how it's all progressing, this gives you a really, really clear understanding. So if you were to work on a client's account, for instance, and you were to send them this report, they would be so amazed. And like I know for a fact this has been really monumental to my business and like how I report to clients, and yeah, people just really understand what you're doing, and this makes sense. This makes complete sense. I'm in this location, I search for this keyword, and this is where you're showing up at the start. And as you've seen over the X amount of months we've been working on your campaign, this is where we are now. So it's actually really, really handy to have. Let's see some of the other features they have. Now, I just showed you the GMB features, but they've got heaps of other features as well. I just showed you the ranking features. One of the things that they do is you're able to schedule GMB posts. Now, one of the really important factors for ranking in Google Maps is activity. And basically, by being able to schedule out your posts over the month, this allows you to save a lot of time for one, but also just make sure that things are getting done for this business, even if you it just slips your mind every now and then. Just setting this up at the start of every month and like over 2 months or whatever it is, making sure that this is all done, gives you consistency with that GMB, which is what Google likes to see. You're able to respond and reply to reviews through here, and basically you get alerts in here whenever you have any reviews come through. So it'll give you a really clear picture of all of that. You can respond in the dashboard as well, and you're able to connect multiple listings to the dashboard, which just gives you one command center to sort of reply to everything. Okay, so I've showed you the rank tracking. It also gives you normal Google rank tracking as well. Listing management, basically, like I said, it's just a command center for the various listings that you have. It'll all be in the one place. GMB photos, this is something that is absolutely amazing to have. Basically, if you get your GMB listing and you've got a lot of photos that you want to put on there, this tool allows you to basically geotag and add EXIF data into those images, into those GMB photos. And because it's sent to Google through the API, Google's actually able to read that information. So when you geotag the photo, and hot tip, you saw before we had the nodes and the geolocation of those nodes, you're able to geotag the photos according to the nodes that you're not ranking in that well and upload it to GMB, which is a nice little tip that they share with you in their training. Yeah, so you can schedule and mass upload images to Google My Business with this tool. So attribute locking. Not a lot of people know about this, but basically with attribute locking, what you can do is if people have really high Google My Business guide accounts, they're able to make simple edits to your listing that you may not realize, and over time they can actually change things in there, so they can claim ownership of your listing if you're not really aware of it. So what attribute locking is it locks your listing down, so it's sort of security for your Google My Business listing. And what that means is if someone tries to make an edit, it'll just change it back. So basically there's no unauthorized edits happening to your listing when you're not watching. Yeah, so for this and basically various other things that they do, Local Viking is pretty damn amazing. I use it day to day. It's probably one of the most valued tools I have in my agency. And yeah, I highly recommend it. You could start with the 10 listing plan. They're not that expensive actually if you really think about the amount of time that it saves you and the data that it can provide. It's actually quite affordable. So that's the prices over here. I wouldn't do the one listing plan. It's a bit too expensive for one listing, but yeah, probably if you're going for the 10 listings, even if you're only using about 3 of them, that becomes way more affordable than doing the single listing. But yeah, anyway, that's it for me. If you have any questions, please pop a note in the description, and if you want to see any other features of the tool, just let me know, and I'll be happy to shoot another video. Thanks guys. Cheers.